And welcome, everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon here live from Gilcone Field. A rubber match coming up between the Tornadoes and Oberlin College, coming down here all the way from Ohio for their opening series of the season. Tornadoes split a doubleheader yesterday, losing 6-2 in Game 1 and then taking Game 2 4-3 in the late stages of a dramatic contest. And the Nados today, behind the arm of Blake Altschuler, are going to be looking to take 2 out of 3 from Oberlin and send them all the way back up north. Frankie Vasquez back in the lineup today, and Lucas Granada back again in that leadoff spot where we saw him hit a leadoff home run yesterday to start the ball game off. It was the only source of offense for the Nados for quite some time in that ball game until things started to wake up in the later innings. Nados looking to take 2 out of 3 today, and we will be back in just a moment. We'll have the starting lineups, and then it'll be time for some baseball. Nados donning the all-black today, Oberlin in the gray. And we'll be back from Gilcone Field here momentarily. Brady Penn, Tornado Baseball, don't go anywhere. Back here from Gill's Place, just a little bit away from Tornado Baseball, about 8 minutes or so from first pitch. Just wanted to go ahead and bring you the lineups for both sides. For Oberlin, leading things off, who was in the same spot yesterday both games, is number 5, Brady Groves, the right fielder. After that, his counterpart, the center fielder, number 22, Zach Masnikoff. And then the third outfielder in the third spot, number 28, Ethan Hurwitz, the left fielder. Batting cleanup is Mike Bax, who moves from first base to third base, number 36. After that, it's Jay Aganye. He DH'd 2 times yesterday. Now he's in at first base, batting fifth. After him, it's David Curtin playing shortstop. He was at third all day yesterday, number 33. The backstop, batting seventh, is number 43, Sean Livingstone. After him, it's number 29, JT Shushel, the DH. And then number 0, the second baseman, Joe Strabley, who struggled at the dish yesterday. On the mound for Oberlin, it's going to be number 32, Liam Rose. Rose, a sophomore from Voorhees, New Jersey, 6'4", 185, so some size on him. And he is a lefty. So the Tornadoes will be facing a southpaw here today after throwing a couple of their own yesterday, in Connor Crosby and Kalen Milstead. Now for the Tornado lineup. Leading things off once again for the second time in 2 games is Lucas Granada. who, if you remember, had a leadoff home run yesterday. After him, it's number 3, the shortstop, Luke Morton. Batting third, the center fielder, number 15, Logan Clark. In the normal cleanup spot, number 26, the first baseman, Cale Ayler. After him, it's Frankie Vasquez at third base, man in the hot corner, number 19. Batting sixth, number 6, the catcher, Kenny Pridmore. And the bottom 3 in the order, number 49, the right fielder, C.P. Pyle. Number 44, the DH, Baylor Wyatt. And Logan Sawyer, who ended up having the game-winning RBI yesterday, playing second base, number 9, Logan Sawyer. And on the mound for the Tornadoes is going to be number 36, Blake Altschuler. We've seen him twice. He is 1-1, had a really good outing, his first college career outing against Averett, and then kind of a tough one against LaGrange last weekend. Nato's going to be trying to do a better job of not stranding guys. Left 19 on base yesterday. They're going to try and get after it today against the lefty Liam Rose. Just a couple of minutes away from first pitch here at Gilcone Field, and we will be back in just a moment. Tornadoes trying to take 2 out of 3 from Oberlin. All right, Tornadoes, there you have it, the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. Now all that's left to do is play ball. Tornadoes donning the all-black uniforms. Tornadoes sitting at 4-4 on the year after a doubleheader split yesterday against the Oberlin College Yeomen. And a pretty normal, pretty standard lineup across the diamond, minus a change or two. And that from left to right in the infield, it's Vasquez, Morton, Logan Sawyer at second. We've been typically used so far this season to seeing Davis Bryson Sawyer in there today after a 2-for-3 outing in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, including the game-winning RBI. And at first base, it's Cale Ayler, the stalwart, over there on the right side of the infield. From left to right across the outfield, normal guys, Lucas Granada, Logan Clark, and C.P. Pyle. And on the mound, it's Blake Altshuler with Kenny Pridmore, his battery mate, behind the dish. Altshuler 1-1, an ERA just over 7, but that's a little bit inflated. Had a tough outing against a really nationally respected Division III team, LaGrange, on the road last weekend. First college road start for Altshuler, but if you remember a couple of weeks ago at home against Averett in Game 2 of that series, Altshuler pitched a really, really good game in his collegiate debut, so looking to build on that in his second home start of his young college career. Altshuler standing in at 6'4", 230 out of Concord, North Carolina. And the first man that he will see today is Brady Groves, the right fielder for Oberlin. And for Groves, he was 4 for 7 yesterday, a tough out. And did a really good job of setting the tone. And as a matter of fact, base hits to lead off both games yesterday. So Tornado's going to try and retire him the first time out for the first time all series, as he takes strike one on the outside corner, and we're underway here at Gil Cone Field. NATO's donning the all-black uniforms, Oberlin in the all-grays with the red, scarlet, and yellow trims, as Groves sends one docked down by Sawyer on a knee, throws over to first. The throw is going to be offline, pulling Cale Ayler off the bag, but an impressive effort there to keep that one from reaching the outfield grass. Looked for sure to be a base hit, and Logan Sawyer was able to range to his right, dive, and knock that down. And hopefully something that we start to see more of from Logan Sawyer. Obviously, only the second and a half game, really, that we've seen him this season after being thrown in the middle of Game 1 yesterday. But last year as a freshman, Sawyer struggled a little bit defensively, had some issues with errors, but a lot of those were at shortstop, so we'll see how he bodes at second base. But a good sign there as Zach Masnikoff takes ball one from Altshuler just a bit inside, maybe a little bit low too. So Groves, in all 3 games this series, has a leadoff base hit to start the game. Masnikoff walked his first time up yesterday and struck out his first time up in Game 1. As he swings and misses at one in the dirt there, Groves will stay put at first. Altshuler, remember, he had that fastball working really well that first outing, and was finding his location really well. 1-1 here to Masnikoff. High and outside, ball 2. Two balls and a strike to Masnikoff. Altshuler from the stretch early. Showing bunt is Masnikoff. No, it's not going to make it into fair ground, so... No, he pulled back, they say. 3-1. Masnikoff able to pull the bat head back and take ball 3. So Altshuler in danger of putting the first 2 guys on. A 3-1 offering. Misses there, ball 4. So the first 2 are aboard for Oberlin, and it'll be Ethan Hurwitz, the left fielder.
Now batting left fielder number 28.
Hurwitz was 2 for 7 in the doubleheader yesterday. 1 for 5 in Game 2. Trying to make up for it here early on with 2 on and nobody out. First pitch from Altshuler is a big hack and a whiff there. Hurwitz was trying to make Altshuler pay early here. 0-1 offering. Another big hack, but that one's grounded right to short. Morton to Sawyer for 1. On to first. Double play. Double the fun there, and the Tornadoes get 2 outs. Groves does move up to third, but Altshuler all of a sudden an out away from getting out of this unscathed.
Now batting third baseman number 36, Kyle Banks.
A 6-4-3 double play there, as routine as it gets. And now here's Baxt, who takes strike 1. Baxt was at first base for the 2 games yesterday for Oberlin, but today manning the hot corner in the field, and hopefully we see him in the field momentarily here if Altshuler can retire him. That one low and outside, ball and a strike here with 2 down and Groves 90 feet away. Sunny Sunday afternoon here in Brevard. Altshuler takes a look at third, now comes home. Check swing just a bit upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Favorable count here for Mike Baxt. Altshuler winds and fires. A big hack and another miss there. They tried to chase that one downstairs. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here. Altshuler deals. Swing and a miss. Got him swinging, strike 3. Got him to chase on the lower outside part of the zone, if you even want to call it the zone. He got him to go fishing there. Strikeout there after a double play for the NATOs to get out unharmed of inning number 1. First game all series where they held Oberlin scoreless in the first, and now they come up to the plate. Granada, Morton, and Clark when we get back here from Gilcone Field, scoreless on a Sunday ball game.
Leading off your Tornadoes.
Home half of the first here. Tornadoes looking to get on the board early and often here against Oberlin. A Tornado offense that for really about 14 out of 16 innings yesterday was completely stagnant and dead. They were able to come away with a victory in Game 2, though, after a late rally in the final couple of frames. And now here's Lucas Granada, who was the only source of offense for the longest time yesterday, with a solo home run to start the game. And now he starts it off with a single into center field. 1 pitch, 1 hit. Lucas Granada continues to look comfortable in that leadoff spot. Second game batting in that first spot in the order, and for the second game in a row, he started things off with a knock, although this one stayed in the park. So here's Luke Morton. And just to talk about starting pitcher, didn't even get a chance to introduce him because of how quick Granada was. This is Liam Rose, a sophomore left-hander, 6'4", 185 out of Voorhees, New Jersey. And now he faces Luke Morton, number 2 hitter. Gets Luke to send one off the hands foul there. So Granada is going to finish this series with a hit every game. Now the 0-1. A bunt attempt tried to lay down. It pops foul over on the right side, and now Luke in an 0-2 hole. You saw Morton try to do that yesterday, kind of try to catch the defense off guard. I think that one was legitimately just to move a runner up, but you saw him yesterday actually end an inning with runners on. You saw him try and bunt, and I remember the third baseman, Curtin, was ready for it. Another bunt attempt there, but it was in foul territory, so now Luke's going to have to protect down 0-2. That one inside, nearly clipped Morton. Still behind, but Gets a bit back in it, a ball and 2 strikes here. Granada over at first, taking his lead. Rose takes a look over, now fires home. Morton chops one over towards the Oberlin bullpen, and we'll do it again. Logan Clark on deck. Did not record a hit yesterday. As a matter of fact, Logan Clark, Cale Ayler, and Frankie Vasquez were a combined 2 for 15 yesterday throughout the doubleheader, and not the norm here at Gilcone Field, if you know anything about those guys. 1-2 offering here from Rose is poked at and right past the glove of the outstretched Gagne, but in foul territory. So another 1-2 coming here in just a moment. Morton nearly placed that perfectly, even with Gagne hugging the line. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball, popped, shallow left field, dropping back on it and making the catch there is Curtin for out number 1. That'll bring up Clark to the plate with a man on first and 1 away.
The center fielder, number 15, Logan
Morton
Clark
was just a bit out in front of that one, and he will be retired for the first time today. So Granada over there at first still has not tried to run to this point. Taking a healthy lead. But with the lefty, got to be held a little bit closer as Clark takes upstairs. Obviously, a lefty on the mound keeps you a lot more honest on the bases. You can really see exactly what you're doing, as he does right there. Takes a look at Granada. Now Rose comes home. High and outside to Clark, 2-0. Here to the Tornadoes center fielder. 0 for 6 through the doubleheader yesterday. The 2-0. At the letter, strike 1. Clark not a big fan of that call. Looks like a pretty good pitch from up here. Hitters count. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch from Rose. At the exact same spot, strike 2, and Clark is saying, I think he's saying that's up. Now the count even. Clark has not taken a swing yet this at bat, and obviously going to have to do that here in a 2-2 count. That one lifted in the air, center field, coming on and making the grab is Masnikoff. So out number 2 there. Clark got a good piece of it, but right at Masnikoff out there in center for out number 2.
now batting for Tornadoes, first baseman.
So that'll bring up Cale Ayler. Cale was 1 for 6 in the doubleheader yesterday. Looking to do some damage here in game number 3 of the series. Got the yellow gloves on as always. And a lefty-lefty matchup here. Breaking ball drops in there for strike 1. A nice front door breaking ball there. Now the 0-1. Popped. Left side of the infield. Sky high. Coming underneath it is Curtin, and he will make the catch for out number 3. So the Tornadoes get a leadoff single but do nothing with it. The next 3 straight retired, and we head to the top of the second. Scoreless still here at Gilcone Field. No runs on a hit and 1 left on for the Tornadoes as we head to the top of the second. Second inning action here from Gilcone Field.
Yeoman, the first baseman, number 50.
Scoreless ball game, and Blake Altschuler will be back out to work with Jay Aganye starting things off. Aganye, we talked about yesterday, pretty physically imposing presence. 6'6", 245 at the plate right now. As Altschuler comes home, a breaking ball drops in the bucket there for strike one. Again, Altschuler, not a small guy himself by any means. 6'4", 230 against 6'6", 245 right now. A battle of power as Aganye sends it in the air to center field. Clark camps out underneath it and makes the grab for out number one. So Altschuler wins the clash of the Titans, per se, there that time. And now it's David Curtin playing shortstop, man, third base for a lot of yesterday's games. As the first one tipped back towards us, foul. Altschuler pretty calm so far out there on the mound, controlling his pitches fairly well. As the 0-1 nearly gets him to chase. Field umpire deems that he did not go around, so 1-1 the count. Not a bad idea there from Altschuler. 1-1. Just misses the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike.
What's the question?
Hitters count here to Curtin. Now the righty delivers. Sends it foul down the third base side. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the Oberlin shortstop. Scoreless game here in the top of the second. Now 2-2. Popped up on the infield. Sawyer comes under it, and he gloves it for out number 2. A lot of pop-ups so far in this one. First 2 men up in the second are retired for Oberlin. Sean Livingstone is the catcher for Oberlin, and it'll be up to him to keep this inning alive. So far, both teams scoreless on 1 hit as Altschuler fires home. That one spiked into the dirt about 5 feet in front of the plate. Ball and no strikes. If Livingstone reaches, it'll be JT Schuschel at DH up next, who we did not see at all yesterday. 1-0. In the dirt again there, 2-0. Livingstone ahead here. Saw Livingstone in that first game yesterday, went 1 for 4. As that one gets the inside part of the zone for strike one. Two balls and a strike here. That one in the dirt again. 3-1 here to Livingstone. Three balls and a strike, 2 away here. As that one's whacked right at Luke Morton, who picks it up on a hop and throws on to first past Cale Ayler. An errant throw there by Luke Morton gets away. It's over by the Oberlin bullpen, and that's going to put Livingstone at second with 2 down. I think it looked like Morton had the catch, but I think Morton decided to throw it on to first just in case it dropped slightly in front of the glove. And we'll see what the consensus is here as the umpires convene together to discuss it. And Morton, if it did hit the ground, obviously it will be an error and a bad throw on Morton's behalf, but it looked as if it had gone into his glove, but no. Safe is the call on the field. It's an error on Morton that will extend the inning. So an E6 puts Sean Livingston on second base with 2 down and JT Schuschel coming to the plate. Coach Victory kind of asking for an explanation, as he has a couple of times this weekend from this umpiring crew, and obviously hard to judge from up here whether or not that hit straight leather or got a piece of dirt first, but to the umpire's discretion, did hit the ground, and then Morton not able to complete a good throw over to first. That one was to the right of Cale Ayler and went straight to that Oberlin bullpen, putting Livingston in scoring position now with 2 away. So first error of the ball game by either side, and now here's JT Schuschel. Did not see him yesterday. Schuschel, a freshman from Dublin, Ohio, 6'1", 210. And Altschuler's first pitch just a bit outside. Nearly had Schuschel reaching out for it, but he did not.
We'll just leave it on this one, Jason.
A 1-0 from Altschuler. Just misses there. Right above the letters, 2-0. On deck, the 9-hole hitter, Joe Strabley. Strabley was 0 for 6 yesterday, as the 2-0 waving and missing there is Schuschel. Got out ahead of that one. Now it's 2 balls and a strike. 2 down, Livingstone at second. The pitch. Popped straight back foul towards us, and the count evened up at 2. Altschuler a strike away from getting out of this. Second time that Oberlin has had a man in scoring position. 2-2 offering. Got him looking, strike 3. A delayed call there. Schuschel doesn't appreciate it. Altschuler sure does. We head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. Oberlin leaves a man stranded at second. 0-0, and we get back here for the bottom of the second. Vasquez, Pridmore, and Pyle due up. Back here for the bottom of the second, Frankie Vasquez will get things going here. If you remember yesterday, Frankie went down after his second at-bat in Game 1. Kind of had not a collision, but an incident at the plate where he might have tweaked his ankle a little bit. He was able to come back into the second game and finish that one, though, as that one misses low for ball 1 from Rose to start the AB to the Tornado third baseman. But Vasquez clearly was sat out of the beginning of that second game for precautionary reasons. Back in the lineup here and sending one just foul down the third baseline. Frankie was 1 for 3 yesterday in the doubleheader. Kind of like he played 2 half games. And he waits a 1-1. Breaking ball hammered through the left side of the infield for a single. A big bat flip there from Frankie as he gets out of the box. And Frankie, no stranger to the flash. And no different there as he gives the bat a nice, courteous little flip there. Back-to-back innings with a leadoff single for the Tornadoes. They squandered the one they got in the first from Granada, hoping for a different result here as Kenny Pridmore steps into the box. Rose's first pitch to the Tornado catcher is popped down the right side. coming on, and it drops in front of Groves. Groves tries to throw quickly to second. Vasquez is going to get there. It did not look like that ball was going to drop in fair territory, and Groves kind of just stopped and let it drop in front of him. So back-to-back singles for the Tornadoes. Vasquez and Pridmore both aboard. That'll bring up CP Pyle with 2 on and nobody out. CP had an RBI double yesterday, and there was 1 for 4 in game 2. 1 for 2 in the first game with that RBI double in the second inning. Rose in some early trouble here in the second. Pyle shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a ball high and out. Vasquez on second, Pridmore at first. Neither one of them really steal threats. The 1-0 from Rose. Big cut and a miss on an upstairs fastball by Pyle. 1-1. Pyle, a new addition to the team this season from Caldwell Community College. Now the 1-1. Another bunt. That one popped really high right over to the Oberlin dugout. Didn't get that one where he wanted, obviously, and now in a 1-2 hole. Gagne chased after it, but it was much too far for him to make it. Pyle behind 1-2. Lefty Rose comes set, takes a look back at Vasquez at second. Now he fires home. High. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count evened up for CP. Big opportunity early on here for the Nados with 2 on and nobody out. CP Pyle trying to keep the line moving. 2-2. Is called a strike 3 looking. CP Pyle can't believe it. That did look a little high and inside, but Pyle rung up on strikes. And that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the second as Baylor Wyatt steps to the dish. We saw Wyatt a couple of weeks ago in that Averett series. 7 at-bats for him on the year as Vasquez going to take off for third. A throw is not in time. Frankie Vasquez with the steal there as Wyatt takes a strike. Frankie, how about that? Just a moment ago mentioned that he wasn't really a big steal threat, and he makes me eat my words as he moves up to third and is now 90 feet away from scoring the first run of this ball game. Rose has to recompose and now deals to Wyatt. Wyatt sends it in the air. Gagne chasing it over the shoulder in foul ground. He will not make the catch. That one will drop right between him and Strabley. It'll just be a deep strike 2 for Baylor Wyatt. Wyatt also got some action in that LaGrange series last weekend. Still looking for his first hit of the season. 0-2 from Rose. High and outside, a miss there. Trying to get Wyatt to chase, possibly. Ball and 2 strikes. Wyatt bloops one into the right field grass. Vasquez is going to trot home. Pridmore will stop at second. And the Nados are on the board. An RBI single for Baylor Wyatt on his first knock of the 2024 season. That'll bring Logan Sawyer to the plate. Sawyer, the 9-hole hitter, and playing second base in this one. Went 2 for 3 in Game 2 yesterday with what ended up being the game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 8th. Blooped one in between short and left and scored Jock Pledger, the pinch runner. This time sends one to the left side of the infield. Backs onto second for 1. Strabley is not going to be able to get the throw in time. Oh, my goodness. Sawyer beat that out fairly clearly, and from the opposite side of the diamond, the umpire is going to rule him out. A double play, 5-4-3. Sawyer was clearly safe at first. Oh, my goodness, that is questionable. But the NATOs do get a run, and we head to the top of the third. 1 run off 3 hits, and it's 1-0 NATOs as we head to the third inning. Wow, interesting call there.
Now batting for the
Top of the third, Joe Strabley about to dig in, and just revisiting that double play a moment ago. It was a really tough call. It seemed like Sawyer was able to use his speed to beat it out of the first base bag, and matter of fact was beginning to say Sawyer beats it out, and then all of a sudden looked to my left and saw the field umpire declaring him out. Obviously, it's a little tougher to justify what we were seeing without the instant replay aspect, but definitely looked like Sawyer beat it out, but not to be as Strabley chases one downstairs for strike 1. And that's how the third inning will start. Altshuler out for his third inning of work, has allowed 1 hit and 2 base runners so far. That one fouled straight back by Strabley. 1 base hit and then 1 error committed by his shortstop, Luke Morton. The only blemishes so far for Altshuler through 2 innings of work. Trying to get out number 1 of his third here. Up 0-2 on Strabley. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Altshuler, and the lineup card flips back over to Brady Groves.
Now batting right fielder number 5, Brady Groves.
Groves, in his first at-bat, all 3 games this series, has recorded a hit, but has struck out in both of his second at-bats, so hoping the trend continues here is Altshuler. First pitch. Fastball just misses at the knees. Altshuler, some good velocity for the young freshman arm. The 1-0. Breaking ball hangs up, but hit in the air to left field. Granada chasing after it and makes the grab. As he ranges towards that left field line, out number 2. That was struck by Groves, but right at the glove of Lucas Granada for out number 2. So that'll bring up Zach Masnikoff with 2 away. And so now that's 8 straight batters for Altshuler without allowing a hit as he moves quickly here on Masnikoff, who swings and misses at a breaking ball there. And 8 straight without giving up a hit, not 8 straight retired due to the error as a breaking ball drops in there on the outside corner. Altshuler working quick. Masnikoff still giving some warm-up swings every time as Altshuler goes quick again and gets a swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning for Altshuler, 4th of the ball game, and a 1-2-3 inning for the freshman as we head to the bottom of the third. How about that for a statement from the righty? 1-0 Tornadoes as we head to the bottom of the third. It'll be Granada, Morton, and Clark. Home half of the third. NATO's leading at 1-0 and trying to add to that lead as the leadoff hitter, Lucas Granada, steps into the box. A single in the first for Granada. Trying to add to that line here off of Liam Rose in inning number 3. Tornadoes 4 hits in the first 2 frames off of Rose, who was bailed by a double play back in inning number 2 as Granada on the first pitch sends it on the ground over to third. Backs, bobbles, throw on to first is in time to get him. Backs able to recover despite a couple of bobbles there on the grounder from Granada. And there's a quick out number 1 for Liam Rose here in the third.
Now adding for Tornadoes shortstop number 3, Luke.
So here's Luke Morton. He popped out to short his first time. And we'll see what Morty's got in store here, his second trip to the plate. That one tapped over near the mound. Rose is going to pick it up and get it to first in time. So a bunch of bang-bang plays at first base. 2 pitches, though, and 2 outs for Liam Rose here in the third. Tornadoes being very aggressive and not being rewarded to this point here in the third inning.
Number 15, Logan Clark.
So a 1-3 put out there. And now here's Clark. We thought that Altshuler had an efficient inning with the, I believe, 8-pitch inning at the top of the third. And now so far 2 pitches and 2 outs for Liam Rose in the bottom. And you got to expect Logan Clark to take here on this first pitch. He does, and it's a ball. Clark trying to get it going. Lined out on a hard hit ball to center his first time after an 0-for-6 doubleheader yesterday. That one misses 2-0, just a bit high. Clark ahead in the count here. Cale Ayler looming on deck if Clark's able to reach. Now the 2-0. Clark takes low and inside, 3-0. Granada and Morton were both first pitch swinging and both retired. And now, with a 3-0 count, Rose comes home. That one touches the inside corner, 3-1. Three balls and a strike. Pitch from Rose. Clark fouls it straight back. Now the count runs full here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 Tornadoes. 1 run, 4 hits, and an error for the NATOs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Oberlin to this point. And the southpaw Rose takes a breath, comes set. Now he looks in and comes with the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking, strike 3. Clark upset with the call there. Got the inside part of the zone, and the NATOs go down in order here in the third. No runs, no hits, and an 8-pitch inning for both pitchers in the third here as we head to the top of the fourth. NATOs still leading at 1-0 here from Gil Cone Field. Top of the fourth, 1-0 through the first 3 frames of this one. Altshuler back out there to work. You remember Altshuler had that really good outing against Averett. We'll talk more about what happened for him last week in just a moment. As this one chopped over, Vasquez ranging to his left, turns around and a perfect throw on Kayla Ayler. So a couple of times already in this game from both sides, we've seen first pitch swinging and first pitch retired as Hurwitz grounds out to Vasquez there for out number 1 to start the 4th. And so for Altshuler last week at LaGrange, obviously a really good program. He was perfect the first time through the order, the first 3 innings, and then the 4th inning he allowed 5 runs on 4 hits as a big swing and a miss there from Baxt. Obviously hoping for a different result this time around in the 4th inning. Already has recorded 1 out. That one misses low and out. Yeah, in that LaGrange game, 4th inning, allowed 5 runs on 4 hits and was relieved by Kalen Milstead. That was the end of his day. But really the only blemish so far on the career of Altshuler as another big swing and a miss there from Baxt. But so far in start number 3, that's the only really bad inning that Altshuler has had, is that one skied in the air to right. Pyle, a couple of steps back, now comes in to grab it for out number 2. And Altshuler has not allowed a base hit since the first batter of the game. Jay Aganye going to try and change that with 2 down here in the 4th. 12 straight batters without allowing a hit. And there's a strike in there to Aganye. Altshuler quickly ahead. Now the righty deals again. That one in the dirt. Pridmore able to knock it down. 2 left on for each side so far. NATO's holding a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th. 1-1 from Altshuler, way outside, out of the reach of Kenny Pridmore to the backstop. And now Gagne ahead. Altshuler shakes off Pridmore. Now he likes what he's got. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, tied him up there on the inside. And now the count even at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away here in the top of the 4th of a 1-0 ball game. Now Altshuler kicks and fires. That one lasered into left field for a base hit. Could be extra bases. Granada racing to cut it off, and Aganye will slow up and stay at first. Granada, good job getting it in to hold Aganye to a single. So the streak of 12 straight batters without allowing a hit has been snapped. Oberlin with their second base knock, and now here's David Curtin. Curtin at the plate now with 2 away and 1 on. He takes ball 1 outside. Curtin popped out to second, his first trip back in the 2nd. Altshuler comes set of the belt, now the 1-0. Swing and a miss way out in front of that one was Curtin. A 1 from Altshuler, or 1-1 rather. A breaking ball that drops in there, frozen, buckled the knees of Curtin, and now it's a 1-2 count. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the 4th. Altshuler takes a look in, now delivers. That one tapped lightly. Vasquez going to pick it up. A quick exchange on to first. The stretch and the grab by Cale Ayler retires the side. No runs on a hit, 1 left on for Oberlin, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. NATO still holding a 1-0 lead here at Gilcone Field on a Sunday afternoon.
Every cheer, for every play, we know there's a little prayer that no one gets hurt. That's why we are there too. Party athletic trainers, physicians, and specialists. We're watching closely for any sign that someone needs care. And if your child is hurt, they're seen right away by the region's top specialists. The Party Sports Medicine team is at every game, match, race, practice, and workout, providing medical attention and guidance. For us, winning is all about playing healthy and smart so you can perform at your best.
Back here for the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Cale Ayler to lead things off. Ayler, Vasquez, and Pridmore. The three due up here. NATO's trying to add to a 1-0 lead. Altshuler on the mound for the Tornadoes has been brilliant thus far. Still yet to allow a run across, but would like some more run support, I'm sure. And he's got the right part of the order up to do just that with Ayler, Vasquez, and Pridmore. First pitch from Rose. Gets the outside corner, not Cale's favorite pitch. He lays off, and it's 0-1. Ayler had struggles with that outside pitch all last season. He's not really gone after it much this year so far. As there's another outside pitch. It's a breaking ball that time. Ayler a bit more frustrated laying off of that one. And he's in an 0-2 hole. Lefty-lefty matchup. Cale going to have to shorten his swing up, the 0-2. Outside corner, got him looking, strike three. Ayler gets 3 straight outside pitches, does not swing at any of them, and he's set down on 3 pitches looking. So the third strikeout looking for the Tornadoes, possibly being a bit too patient here. Matter of fact, those are the only 3 strikeouts that Liam Rose has, all 3 of them of the looking variety. So 3 backwards Ks for this Tornado lineup already here in the 4th inning. As Vasquez is going to dig in, and the umpire sitting there checking something on his scorecard. And now standing there just in front of the first base line. Figures out whatever he needed to figure out and gets back behind the dish with some roaring from both dugouts. Now Vasquez in there. Vasquez flipped the bat on that single earlier. First pitch from Rose here is skied deep down the right field line, but in foul ground. Well foul. Frankie, one of those players that it seems like he can take anything and kind of make it personal and use that to fuel him out there on the diamond, and it seemed like exactly what happened when he got that single back in the 2nd inning. And when the Tornadoes got the win yesterday evening, as Frankie takes low and inside. In one word, a competitor. Ball and a strike with 1 away and nobody on here. The bottom of the 4th. Pitch from Rose is whacked. Again, foul, though. Frankie just out in front of that one. Sent a missile down that foul ground on the left side. Now Frankie behind 1-2 here. Tornado third baseman trying to reach base with 1 away. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball. Frankie sends it right back up the middle. Another big bat flip on the single, and Rose kind of takes a stare down there at Vasquez, and something to keep an eye on the rest of this one. It seems like Frankie maybe with a little bit of a vendetta here against Oberlin after the dirty slide yesterday that they took into him in the third base bag. Unfortunately, Frankie can't really do anything to the guy that did slide into him. He's standing all the way out there in right field. So Frankie will focus his efforts on the pitcher every time, and so far it's worked. 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, and now here's Pridmore. First pitch from Rose. Whacked. Center field. Going back on it is Masnikoff, and he makes the grab just in front of the track for out number 2. Kenny Pridmore, over the last 2 days, has been very, very aggressive on that first pitch. It's paid off at times, and right there got a good piece of it, but clearly not rewarded with a base hit. So there's out number 2. Frankie Vasquez still over there on first with 2 away, and it'll be CP Pyle. Pyle struck out looking on a questionable call his first time up to the dish. Some encouragement from his teammates in the Tornado dugout as he steps in. Ball and no strikes to the Tornado right fielder. Now, as good as Altshuler has pitched, Rose, not too bad himself either. Has allowed 5 hits, but just the 1 run has been pushed across. As Vasquez going to take off again. A throw down to second is not in time, and it will skip past Strabley, but it will die on the dirt and not head into the outfield. Otherwise, Frankie would have been able to get all the way up to third, and now Rose kind of frustrated that he let Vasquez get that extra bag there and didn't really hold him close. Vasquez fired up in scoring position now, and CP Pyle ahead 2-0. Pyle ahead 2-0 here. Vasquez on second. CP pops it in foul ground. That one's out of play. Still ahead in a hitter's count is Pyle. Two balls and a strike. Rose, the lefty, takes a look back at Vasquez on second. And now Vasquez fakes going as Rose drops a breaking ball in there for strike two. Count evened up. Now the 2-2. Outside corner. Just missing there was Rose. So the count runs full. If Pyle reaches, on deck is Baylor Wyatt, who has driven in the only run of this game thus far. Rose, a pause, a look in, a look back. And now he comes home as Frankie Vasquez takes off, a swing and a miss. Pyle set down on strikes for the second time today, and that will do it for the bottom of the fourth. We head to the fifth inning. NATO's still leading it by a run, 1-0. When we head back, it'll be Livingstone, Schuschel, and Strabley due up for Oberlin. 1-0 NATO's back in just a moment. Top five here. NATO's leading at 1-0, and Blake Altschuler so far has been cruising in this one. Looking to continue that here as he faces the bottom three in the order, Livingstone, Schuschel, and Strabley for the Yeoman. Altschuler's first pitch of the fifth is a swing and a miss from Sean Livingstone, who reached on a Luke Morton throwing error back in the second. The 0-1. Check swing there. Did not go after it. Good pitch from Altschuler. And he appealed down to the field umpire. He wasn't even ready to make the call for a second there. 1-1. Same spot. Low and outside. Again, Livingstone not going after it. Now he's ahead 2-1. 2-1 here from the righty. Is off the hands right towards Vasquez. Frankie takes it on a hop and floats one across to Cale Ayler for out number one. Seen a couple of those already too. Frankie's been busy out in the field and busy at the plate. 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, a couple of bat flips too. I was just saying during the break, if Frankie's flipping the bat like that on singles, do not let him put one over the fence because we might really get a spectacle. One away as a big hack and miss there from JT Schuschel starts things off. Schuschel struck out looking his first time up. I want a breaking ball that drops just below the knees. Ball one. Altschuler has really not been stressed much in this game as that breaking ball misses. He allowed the first 2 base runners on, and ever since then, he's only had 2 runners aboard the entire rest of the way, and one of those was via an error. 2-1, right on the hands of cut and a miss. Now the count evened up at 2. 1 away, nobody on here in the top of the 5th. Zeros across the board so far for Oberlin. The 2-2. Got him looking, strike 3. A delayed call there, but for the second time, JT Schuschel is down looking. 5th strikeout for Altshuler. And now here's Joe Strabley, who was one of the victims earlier in the 3rd.
Second baseman number 0, Joe Strabley.
So 5th K in 4 2/3 so far for Altshuler. Maybe can get number 6 here as Strabley sends one foul over to his third base coach for strike 1. A 1 from Altshuler. Breaking ball clips the outside part of the zone for strike 2, and Strabley is still looking for his first base knock of the weekend in an 0-2 hole. Pitch from Altshuler. Popped up. Sky high in the outfield. Clark underneath it, and he's got it for out number 3. Another 1-2-3 frame for Altshuler, who continues to crush it out there on the mound. Nato still leading 1-0. Altshuler still looking for some run support as we head to the home half of the 5th. Wyatt, Sawyer, and Granada due up. Bottom of the 5th, Nato's still clinging on to a 1-0 lead, still trying to add on to it. So far for the Natos, 1 run off 5 hits, no runs off of 2 hits for Oberlin. Blake Altshuler has been absolutely dazzling on the mound thus far, and Liam Rose not far behind in terms of quality of performance. Just the 1 run allowed so far as Wyatt takes strike 1. Baylor Wyatt drove in the only run so far in this one with an RBI single that he flared into the right field grass. Wyatt takes outside that time, 1-1. Baylor, a junior in the DH role today. 6'1", 225 out of Gastonia, North Carolina. 1-1. Wyatt caught way out in front of a breaking ball there, swing and a miss. Now he goes behind 1-2. Logan Sawyer on deck, grounded into the controversial double play earlier. More on that in a moment when he steps in. 1-2 to Wyatt. Breaking ball drops in there. Wyatt knew it immediately. Froze him there with the curve, and Wyatt set down on K's. 5th strikeout for Rose.
Logan Sawyer.
So both pitchers with 5 strikeouts. And here's Sawyer. Grounded out into that double play that we mentioned. Looked like he had beat it out at first. The umpire deemed he did not, and that ended the inning as he waves and misses at a high, tight fastball there. That was back in the 2nd inning. We're now in the 5th. NATO's still holding the same 1-0 lead that they did when that occurred. The 0-1. Sawyer off the hand, straight back foul, and quickly in an 0-2 hole. And Rose starting to get ahead of these tornado hitters early and often, as Altshuler has done on the other side. 0-2 from Rose. Just misses outside there. It's hard to know. With this home plate umpire, it's hard to know what's going to be a looking strikeout and what's not. The strike 3 call is a little bit delayed. He's caught me a couple of times up here. Rose, the tall lefty, takes a look in. Now the 1-2. Inside, count evened up. If Sawyer can reach, the lineup flips back over with 1 away to Lucas Granada. See Granada either way, but I'd like to see him with a runner on instead of 2 away and none on. 2-2. Breaking ball. Hit lightly in the air. Center field coming on is Masnikov. He'll let it drop in front of him. So Logan Sawyer continues to place the baseball where guys are not. And a 1-out single there. His 3rd hit of the series, and it'll bring up Lucas Granada, who has 3 hits this series himself. 1 away and a man on first. As Granada steps in. Granada yesterday, remember, in that leadoff spot, showed off some power with a home run to start off the first inning. Has a single in this one as he swings at the first pitch and sends it in the air to center field. Masnikov will have no problem with this one, and a quick out number 2. Granada, 2 ABs in a row that he's gone after the first pitch and been retired now.
For Tornadoes, shortstop number 3, Luke Morton.
So it'll be down to Luke Morton here in the 5th with a man on and 2 away. Morton's popped out to short and grounded out to the pitcher. Swung at the first pitch similar to Granada his last at-bat. As a matter of fact, that was back in the 3rd. Granada and Morton started the inning off 2 pitches, 2 outs. Now Rose comes home with 2 away. A breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Morton wanted a little bit of clarification on where that hit. He got it, gives a little nod of the head, and now looks back out towards the mound. 0-1 to the NATO shortstop. On the outside corner for strike 2, and Morty quickly behind here. Zeros across the board for both teams except for a number 1 back in that second frame for the NATOs. Otherwise, nothing doing for either side. The 0-2 here to Morton. He pokes at it, sends it right to Strabley, who was covering on the steal, and now he gets it over to Gagne at first for out number 3. No runs on 1 hit for the Tornadoes. They leave a man aboard, and they still hold a 1-run lead as we head to inning number 6. This one moving quickly along. Good pitching on both sides. NATOs up 1-0 when we return from Gilcone Field. Top of the 6th here. A 1-0 stalemate. As Altschuler heads out to try and continue his dominance. He's only allowed 2 hits. Still has not let a run come across, and he faces the leadoff man, Brady Groves, who sends one foul. Groves has singled and flied out. And the AB he was retired on back in the 3rd was Probably a harder hit ball than the one he reached base on. The 0-1 fouled. Now Groves behind 0-2. And Groves clearly, we've only seen these 3 games of him. Obviously don't see a whole lot of Oberlin, but can already tell just off these 3 games that this is a guy that puts the bat to the ball. A really good contact guy. The 0-2. Sends one on the ground, past to diving Morton. Could be extra bases as Clark races to cut it off. Rounding first is Groves, and he will pump the brakes. A good cutoff there from Logan Clark. He gets it in, and a leadoff single here to start the 6th for Brady Groves, and he has 2 of the 3 Oberlin base hits. A couple of singles on his line, and it'll bring up Zach Masnikoff. If you remember, Blake Altshuler had Masnikoff in a blender last time he came up. Was moving quickly every pitch, not even giving him time to get set as he squares up to bunt. Sends it right to Altshuler. Altshuler's going to look at second now, go over to first, and he will be safe. Altshuler hesitated there. He looked at second, thought he might have had a play. Groves was moving quickly, and now Groves is heading to third. No one's covering the bag. Vasquez is going to get the tag on him, and he's out. Groves thought he was going to take advantage of the NATO's napping. He tried to go for third, and he knows now he made a bad choice. Vasquez was not covering the bag, but he was able to get back in the path, and Altshuler with a heads-up play to get it to him. Groves is retired. So a hectic sequence there, a bunt. Altshuler was late looking at second, didn't get the throw to first in time, so everybody was safe, and then Groves got a little too greedy, tried to take third, and a big first out there for the NATO's. So an E1 on the sacrifice bunt there. A sacrifice bunt with an E1 on Altshuler. And then a 1-5 put out as Pridmore throws behind the runner, but he'll get back in time. Masnikoff diving into the bag there. Breaking ball misses inside there, 3-0 to Ethan Hurwitz. Hurwitz has grounded out a couple of times. One of them was a double play in the first inning. Now Altshuler with the 3-0. No, sends it back over to first, and good attempt there by him and Cale Ayler, but Masnikoff in there safely. 3-0 with 1 down. Pitch. Breaking ball drops in there perfectly for strike 1. So that E1 was the second Tornado error. Obviously, Tornado's no worse for wear with Groves being retired as the runner goes, and that one's popped up. Right side of the infield, Sawyer gloves it for out number 2. So Altshuler able to battle back from being behind 3-0 in the count. He's able to retire Hurwitz for the 3rd time, and now here's Mike Bax. He struck out and flied out to right. That one fouled back. Strike 1. No balls and a strike here to Bax, the third baseman for Oberlin. Altshuler trying to send us to the bottom of the 6th. 0-1 just misses. Count runs even at 1. 1-0 Tornado lead. Masnikoff still standing over at first. Another 1-1. Runner goes. This one sent through the right side of the infield. A weak ground ball base hit through the right side, and now runners are on the corners after the back single with 2 away. Hit and run action there for Oberlin. Masnikoff was taking off, and as a result, with Sawyer going to cover the bag, it left the right side completely open, and Bax took advantage of it. So runners on the corners now. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at first, with Gagne stepping into the box. Gagne's flied out to center and singled. That's the 4th base hit for Oberlin. Still a 0 on the scoreboard for now. First pitch from Altshuler. Runner goes. That one sliced in the air to center field coming on. Clark, he'll make the grab for out number 3. Clark able to maneuver his way over to that one and escape the damage. Altschuler still has not allowed a run through 6. We head to the home half. NATO's leading it 1-0. And when we get back, it'll be Clark, Ayler, and Vasquez. Bottom 6 here from Gilcone Field. NATO's holding on to a slim 1-0 lead as Logan Clark steps in. Logan 0 for 8 on the weekend. Looking for his first knock here before this series is up. Rose still out there, the lefty out for his 6th inning of work, and he finds the zone for strike 1 here to Clark. Both starters going strong. Altschuler just completed his 6th inning. Rose trying to do the same here in the bottom half. Breaking ball hits the dirt there. Logan Clark has, up until these last 2 games, been in the leadoff spot all season long, been in the 3. These past 2 games with Lucas Granada occupying that leadoff role. 1-1 here to Logan. Misses outside, 2-1. Two-one offering here to Clark is a breaking ball, smashed foul. Cale Ayler on deck. Cale 0 for 2, and then Frankie Vasquez in the hole. He's 2 for 2. A couple of bat-flipped singles. So you see an arm running into that bullpen for Oberlin. As that one a breaking ball that misses high, and the count runs full. No signs of slowing down for Rose so far, but getting guys loose possibly is Oberlin. Payoff pitch is a breaking ball. Set foul down the right side. Another payoff coming here in just a moment from Liam Rose. Keep seeing bodies running into that Oberlin bullpen. Bullpen catcher heading that way as well. That one misses high, and Logan Clark will take his base. He's aboard for the first time in this one. And it looks like Davis Hayes is one of the arms warming up in that bullpen. Hayes, actually a native of Asheville, North Carolina, went to Asheville High School, found his way all the way in Oberlin, Ohio. And now here close to home, possibly a chance that we see him. As a matter of fact, a freshman, Davis Hayes, could be his first college outing as Cale Ayler takes a breaking ball just a bit high. Maybe a little outside, too. Remember, Tornadoes, this is their 3rd series for Oberlin. The Tornadoes are their first opponent of the season. Had opening day yesterday, so Hayes, a freshman, would be making his college debut not far from home if he does come in. Clark is going to take off. The throw down to second, much too late, and it's going to get into the outfield grass. Clark is going to make his way to third. No throw here from the center fielder, Masnikoff. So stolen base for Logan Clark, and then he advances to third on the errant throw from Livingstone, who's frustrated with himself. So that'll be a stolen base with an E2. And the NATOs have a man at third with nobody out here. Kay Layler ahead 2-0. That's Logan's 54th career stolen base. As Ayler whacks one right out of Gagne, who's going to go to the plate. Clark is in there. Ayler never ran to first, and now they're going to get him. So Oberlin should not have had an out there. And some confusion on what just happened there.
Now batting for Tornado's third baseman, number 19, Frankie Vasquez.
Okay, so Clark does come across. Ayler just never kept running to first. I think he gave himself up thinking Gagne had stepped on the bag, but instead he just threw to home immediately. Ayler did not realize he was not retired, but he ended up being so. As Frankie, his third single, he holds onto the bat and counts to 3 on his fingers as he heads to first, and Frankie's letting him know. I'll say that.
So was that a 3-2-3 put out?
So ground out, 3-2-3 on the put out for Ayler just a moment ago for those keeping score. So Frankie Vasquez with a trio of singles, and you saw him running down the first base line. No bat flip that time, but he did hold it on the way down there and took the right hand and counted 1, 2, 3 as he ran down the line. So here's Kenny Pridmore with Frankie over at first. Livingstone going to keep a close eye on him as he receives that pitch, but no throw behind the runner. 2-0 Tornado lead now. After Clark comes across on the Ayler ground out. Now Rose to throw back over to check on Vasquez. And I think that after today, Oberlin's going to be happy to not see Frankie Vasquez again. Rose, the lefty, looks over at first. Now down 2-0 as Pridmore sends one right past a diving Curtin. Vasquez will jog into second, station-to-station base running. And a one-out single, back-to-back singles for the Tornadoes here in the 6th. Now time called. We'll see if this is the end of the line for Liam Rose or not. Rose to this point, 5 1/3, 2 runs off 8 hits. And looks like this might be it. Everybody huddled up on the mound. Is it just a meeting, or are they going to take the ball from Liam Rose? At the very least, buying time for the arm in the bullpen, Davis Hayes. And it does look like the Rose might be allowed to battle through this 6th inning. Conceded one more run. Now trails at 2-0. Obviously still a manageable ball game. NATO's going to try and add on to that with 2 on and 1 out, but a lengthy discussion ongoing on the mound. Now the umpire is going to come break up the party. Coach back at the dugout. And now CP Pyle to the plate. Pyle is struck out twice, once swinging, one looking. Trying to make up for that here with 2 on and 1 away. Frankie Vasquez manning second. Kenny Pridmore over there at first. Second time today we've seen the 2 of them on base at the same time. Rose comes home. Pyle rips a single through the left side. Frankie rounding third. Huckey's going to send him. Frankie coming home. The throw will be cut off. Now a throw back to second, and Pridmore gone down. It looked like he got under the tag. Pridmore's going to be ruled out, and it's been an adventure with this field umpire. Kenny Pridmore arguing with him, putting his hands up in confusion. 3 straight singles for the NATOs. Oberlin does get an out. Tornadoes get a run. It's 3-0.
for Tornado
7-5-4.
Taylor Wyatt.
The put out on Pridmore. Kenny got caught a bit too far out in front of the bag. They threw behind him, and he was deemed out by the field umpire. It looked like he could have gotten under that tag, but did not, as Baylor Wyatt takes ball one. Wyatt drove in the first run of this game and then struck out looking back in the fifth. 1-0 from Rose, and no, he'll defer over to first, keeping an eye on Pyle. So 2 outs, CP Pyle over on first. NATO's with 2 more pushed across here in the 6th. It's 3-0. Arm warming up out in the Tornado pen. As Wyatt fouls one off, it's Andy Farringer, who we saw yesterday for 2/3 of an inning. Came in to clean up a mess that Hatcher Bailey had left. And now another throw over to first, keeping CP Pyle close. And yes, Andy Farringer did come in. He got a double play off of Ethan Hurwitz to escape a jam in the 6th of game 1 yesterday. 1-1 to Wyatt. Lifted in the air, left field. Coming underneath it is Hurwitz, and he will make the grab with no problem for out number 3. Tornadoes push 2 more across off 3 hits, and they lead at 3-0 as we head to inning number 7. They get to Rose a little bit, and we'll see if we get another inning of Altshuler. We will. Altshuler heading back out for the 7th, holding a 3-0 lead. Back in just a moment from Gilcone Field on a Sunday afternoon. Seventh inning here from Gilcone Field. NATOs have opened up the lead a little bit, 3-0. As we reach the final third of baseball here for the weekend at Gilcone Field, and Curtin immediately sends one into center field for a leadoff single. David Curtin with his first hit of the ball game, and his 3rd hit of the series. He's had 1 in each game. And here's Sean Livingstone, the catcher. Livingstone reached on an error and then grounded out to Frankie Vasquez. Leadoff man aboard for Oberlin, trailing by 3, and need to get a run or 2 here. Altshuler, throw back over to first, keeps Curtin in check. Shakes his hand a little bit as he gets up. Might have jammed something. Does have the sliding mid on, though. Creeps and takes his lead. Altshuler at 79 pitches. And he deals here. Check swing. Pridmore throws behind the runner. Better throw. Mike could have got him there. KO had to kind of wait on it and reach up, so Curtin able to get back into first. And now the Oberlin dugout getting a little excited about something. And that one in the dirt, it looks like might be having a laugh at the expense of the field umpire, who's had an interesting day. Might not have got the necessary sleep last night. He's kind of been taking a nap out there on the field at times. 2-0. As that one misses low and outside and gets away from Kenny Pridmore. Curtin's going to take second. And for the first time in a while, Oberlin has a man in scoring position. We saw Farringer warming up in the bullpen. Believe that's still him getting loose, so we'll see what kind of hook Mike Victory has here with a 3-0 lead, but Altshuler dealing with some struggles to start this 7th inning. 3-0. Breaking ball drops in for a strike, and Livingstone will stay right where he's at. Altshuler takes a long look back at second, now comes home. Breaking ball hits the inside corner again. Livingstone does not agree. Count full. Nobody out. Man on second for Oberlin. Their best opportunity to this point. Payoff pitch. Breaking ball. Blooped into right field for a base hit. Coming around third is Curtin. He will score. The throw is cut off by Ayler, and it's a 3-1 ball game. RBI single for Sean Livingstone. And Coach Victory stepping out of the dugout here. Looks like this might be it. Farringer warming up in the bullpen. And we'll see if he takes the ball from Altshuler here. It looks like Altshuler is preparing for that. Hey, maybe not. This looks like it's going to just be a talk. Pridmore, Victory, and Altshuler gathered up on the hill. And Coach Mike Victory displaying confidence in his young freshman in only his 3rd career start. As JT Schuschel comes to the plate, he struck out looking both times. Schuschel has been frozen twice. Right here, Altshuler would take a ground ball with nobody out and a man aboard in a 3-1 ball game. Showing bunt here is Schuschel. He pulls back and takes ball 1. The 1-0 popped up. Right side, Ayler lets it fly out of play. A good series of baseball that we've been treated to. A 6-2 ball game in game 1 that saw Oberlin get the victory. A 4-3 late come from behind victory for the NATOs yesterday. And currently a 3-1 lead for Brevard in the top of the 7th. We've seen some good pitching, some timely hitting. We've also seen some crucial mistakes on both sides in these 3 games. The 1-1 runner goes. It's popped up in the air. Chasing after it, Sawyer and Clark. Clark is going to come on and make the grab for out number 1. So big out number 1 there for Altshuler. Sawyer was ranging back trying to grab it. Ended up letting Clark get it as he was coming in. His momentum was coming towards the ball. And here's Joe Strabley, yet to record a base hit this weekend. In that 9-hole, he struck out and flied out to center his 2 trips today. Here he takes ball 1 low. Strabley at the dish. Ground ball could send us to the bottom of the 7th, but if he reaches, the lineup flips back over to Brady Groves. That one misses, low and outside, 2-0. Pitch number 90 there for Altshuler. The 2-0 is hit foul. Good contact there, but to the left of that third base line and into the corner. Strabley still ahead 2-1 here in the driver's seat. Altshuler comes set of the belt, now fires. That one misses inside, 3-1. And you got to imagine that if Altshuler does walk Strabley here and it gets back to the top of the order, that's going to be it for the freshman righty. So a crucial pitch here for Altshuler. The 3-1. He kicks and deals. That one sent on the ground, foul just to the left of that third base line again. And Schrabley messing around with that third base line a little bit here. A full count. Payoff from Altschuler. Misses. Ball 4. A one-out walk, and yes, it looks like this is going to be the end of the line. You see Coach Victory creeping out of the dugout. And so Altschuler puts 3 of the first 4 hitters aboard in the 7th, and that's going to close the book on him for today. Coach Victory comes out to get him. We'll see who's headed in, likely Farringer, who we saw warming up. And 94 pitches for Blake Altschuler, and Coach Victory is going to take the ball from him. Looks like Farringer coming in. He'll get his warm-up tosses in, and then we'll be back in just a moment. We saw Andy in Game 1 yesterday. Now he's going to try and put an end to a jam in the 7th inning of a 3-1 ball game. Back in just a moment from Gilcone Field, Andy Farringer takes the hill. All right, so Andy Farringer in. 5th appearance of the year for Farringer. We saw him come in and record the final 2 outs of the 6th inning yesterday in Game 1. Got a double play off the bat of Ethan Hurwitz, and now he faces Brady Groves. First pitch, a looping pitch there that misses the zone. NATO's leading at 3-1, but the tying run is aboard. Runners on first and second. Livingstone and Strabley, the 2 on right now for Oberlin. The 1-0, runners go. Groves strokes it in the air to center field. Clark back on it. He makes the grab. Nobody's going to be able to advance there as Livingstone took off on the pitch. And a big out number 2 recorded there for Andy Farringer upon coming in.
Now batting center fielder number 22.
So it'll come down to Zach Masnikoff in terms of the 7th inning here. Masnikoff has walked. He's struck out, and then he's reached on an error on a sacrifice bunt. 2 away. First pitch to Masnikoff. He tips that one off the plate. Farringer kind of been used as a cleanup guy this series. Second time he's had to come in a pickle. The 0-1. Masnikoff takes strike 2 on the outside part of the plate, and Farringer a strike away from sending us to the home half of the 7th, still up 2. Masnikoff batting from the left side of shorter stature, the center fielder. The 0-2. Whacked in the air, right field, Pyle right underneath it, and he's got it. Some loud contact, but right into the glove of the right fielder, C.P. Pyle. Farringer comes in and records the final 2 outs. Blake Altshuler goes 6 1/3 of 1-run ball, and it's time to stretch here at Gilcone Field. Bottom of the 7th coming up. It'll be Sawyer, Granada, and Morton when we return. NATO's holding a 3-1 lead. Following the 7th inning stretch, it's time for the Tornado Bats to come up here in the bottom half of the inning, leading it 3-1. Logan Sawyer will start things off. 3 hits for him this weekend. He got a single his last time up back in the 5th. After Sawyer, it'll be Granada and Morton. Sawyer facing a new pitcher, Davis Hayes. More on him in a moment as Sawyer takes ball 1 low. And for Hayes, this is his college debut, a freshman right-hander out of, guess where, Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville High School, now playing all the way up in Ohio for Oberlin College in the Yeomans, as Sawyer continues his hot hitting and strokes a single into center field. A big turnaround first, but then he quickly halts and heads back. Second base hit of this one for Sawyer, and it flips the lineup back over to Lucas Granada. So how about that? Hayes from about 40 minutes down the road from Brevard, and his college debut ends up coming here on Gilcone Field, not far from home, and hopefully some relatives of Hayes and the such were able to make it and see this, as he misses with ball 1 to Granada, the Tornado leadoff hitter. Lucas 1 for 3. He's got 3 hits on the weekend, 1 in each game, including a solo home run in game 2. The 1-0. Granada, big swing and a miss there. Lucas has not been going deep into counts. Had a single very early in the count his first time up, and then both of his past 2 at-bats where he was retired, it was on the first pitch. Lucas hasn't exactly been taking a patient approach. The 1-1 to Granada. Breaking ball, gets the inside corner. Granada thought off the hand it might hit him. He kind of turned towards the umpire, and it dropped into the zone, so now he's behind 1-2. Sawyer over on first. Nobody away. Now Hayes delivers. Granada sends a ground ball past the third baseman, Baxt. Baxt with the error there. It bounced right over his glove. Granada will reach on an E5, and the Tornadoes have runners on first and second with nobody out. A chance to add on to their 3-1 lead as Luke Morton climbs into the box. Morty 0 for 3. He's popped out and he's grounded out twice. Hayes quickly in some trouble here. Induced a ground ball there that could have been a double play, but Bax not able to pull it in. Now Morton pulls the bat out, showing bunt, pulls back, and takes strike one. Morty 1 for 10 in the series as he lays this bunt down, but it's going to tail foul to the left. And now Morton in an 0-2 hole. Don't want to just single out the struggles for Luke in this series. It's honestly been a lot of the Tornado lineup that has not been able to find its stride against an unfamiliar opponent in Oberlin. Still early in the year, of course, but Ayler, Clark, Morton all have struggled. Vasquez has had a good series. Sawyer, Pridmore. As that breaking ball tails way to the glove side and out of the zone. But obviously still early in the year, and we know what this Tornado offense is capable of. All these guys, experienced veteran guys. 1-2. Morton takes upstairs, 2-2. Davis Hayes, the right-hander on the mound, relieving Rose after 6 innings of 3-run ball. Had 5 strikeouts and a walk. 9 hits given up. Hayes fires home. Luke just able to reach out and tap that one back to stay alive. Still 2-2 here to the Tornado shortstop. 2-2 to Morton. Breaking ball freezes him up there. Got him looking strike 3. Morton 0 for 4 now on the afternoon. A looking strikeout there. Third that he has suffered this weekend. Struck out looking twice yesterday in game 2. And then again here in the bottom of the 7th. And a big out number 1 for Davis Hayes. It'll bring Logan Clark to the dish. Logan still searching for his first hit of the series, but did walk in the 6th. He has an opportunity with 2 men on and 1 away. First pitch from Hayes is a fastball in there for a strike. Clark trying to help add some insurance here for the NATOs, up 2. 3-1 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Hayes. That one lifted in the air to left field. Clark is going to fly out to the warning track, tagging up now both runners, and there will be no play. So Clark flies out to left, but does move both runners up. And so with 2 outs, here comes Cale Ayler, who's 0 for 3. Ayler's popped out, struck out looking, and then grounded out.
Now batting for Tornadoes, first baseman number 26.
But if Cale can get a rip here, it will drive in 2 more runs for the NATOs and make it a 5-1 ball game. Hayes trying to avoid that. As Ayler steps into the box. And if Hayes has paid any attention, he'll go to this outside part of the plate. The inside is where you get torched by 26, which is where he goes there, but it drops. And Cale with a swing and a miss. Cale Ayler 1 for 9 in the series. Trying to get base hit number 2 here at a big point in game 3. The 0-1 misses. Low and outside there, 1-1. For Cale, nearing that century mark in hits. 1-1. Is hit into right field for a base hit. Coming around to score is Sawyer. Turning around third is Granada. He heads to the plate. He is going to be out. Granada gunned down to the plate. Tornadoes do get 1 with Sawyer. And a good throw coming up there from Groves in right field to prevent anything else. 4-1 NATO lead as we head to the 8th inning. 3-run lead And we will return from Gilcone Field here in just a minute. Final stages of this one, things getting interesting as Farringer heads back out onto the pump. Top of the 8th, Yeoman coming back up to the plate here, trailing now 4-1. NATO's got the run that Oberlin acquired in the 7th right back with Logan Sawyer being driven in on the Cale Ayler RBI single, and now Andy Farringer, after recording the final 2 outs last inning, starts things off with a swinging strike here in the 8th. It's Hurwitz at the dish. Baxt and Gagne due up as well. The 0-1 is found straight back. And as opposed to an Altschuler, Farringer, not a power pitcher, relies a lot on changing arm angles, arm slots, and hitting a spot that his catcher Kenny Pridmore gives him. Very location-based pitcher. The 0-2 nearly takes out the back leg of Hurwitz, but he's able to get out of the way. And Farringer still ahead 1-2. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Farringer gets his first strikeout of the season, and it comes at the expense of Hurwitz for out number 1 here in the 8th. Kyle Baxt into the box now. 1 for 3, singled his last time up. Before that, a strikeout and a flyout on his line. Now the righty Farringer comes set. 4-1 ball game. Farringer misses the zone there. One-0 is blooped in the air to right field. Pyle will have it in mid-right field for out number 2. 2 quick outs recorded by Andy Farringer here in the 8th after coming in for mop-up duty in the 7th.
Now batting, first baseman number 50, Jay Gagne.
So here's Gagne. He's 1 for 3. He flew out to center twice with a single in between those two. And that one sent to the left side for his second base hit. A 2-out single for Gagne. That one ripped. So Gagne is going fly out to center, single, fly out to center, single in his 4 trips. And he extends the 8th, or the top of the 8th, for David Curtin. Curtin singled his last time up. He was the first of back-to-back singles, Curtin and Livingstone. And now Andy Farringer with a pick off the first. Cale Ayler throws the ball up in the air in celebration, and Gagne got caught sleeping over there at first. So Curtin will not get his hacks at the plate, and that's going to do it for the top of the 8th. Oberlin with a big mistake there, and they still trail it 4-1 as we head to the home half of the 8th. Hopefully the last time we see the Tornado Bats today with a 4-1 lead. Back in just a moment. When we return, it'll be Vasquez, Pridmore, and Pyle. Home half of the 8th, and the villain coming to the plate, Frankie Vasquez. He has definitely gotten his money's worth today. 3 singles for him. The first 2 were accompanied by a bat flip. The third one was Frankie counting how many hits he had on the day, and if he gets number 4, it'd be interesting to see what charade he pulls here as he takes ball 1 on a breaking ball near his neck. Vasquez 3 for 3. Now facing Davis Hayes, the freshman. Takes that one way outside. It skips in the dirt for ball 2. Frankie ahead. Last time, Frankie singled, and after that, it was back-to-back singles from Pridmore and Pyle. Vasquez came around to score. Now Frankie takes inside. 3-0, and they might just put Frankie aboard here with nobody on and nobody out in the bottom of the 8th in a 4-1 game. 3-0 from Hayes. Breaking ball drops in there for strike 1. (4-1) here at Gilcone Field, bottom of the 8th. 3-1 to Vasquez. He flips the bat again after the walk. Frankie Vasquez, some flair. He's been up to the plate 4 times. He's reached 4 times. Gives a little chest pat to Coach Vinny Carone over at first, and now here's Kenny Pridmore. Kenny 2 for 3 with a couple of singles.
See you, Ray. See you, Byron.
Kenny is starting to establish himself as this primary everyday catcher. Has been consistent at the plate ever since late last season when he started seeing action. A couple of homers last year and already a couple of multi-hit games this season. The 1-0 from Hayes. Nearly hits Pridmore. Instead, it'll be ball 2. Hayes, the 2-0. Is ripped right at the shortstop. Now a throwback to first. Agagne's going to have to climb up to get it. He won't be able to double off Frankie, who was caught a little bit too far past the bag. A laser there caught by Curtin for out number 1. A lucky break for Oberlin.
Now batting for Tornadoes. Right.
It'll bring up CP Pyle. CP singled his last time up after 2 strikeouts in his first 2 trips. 1 away. Frankie Vasquez standing at first. Tornadoes up 3, but would love some more insurance as CP takes downstairs for ball 1. Game moving along fairly quickly. Has not been 2 hours yet, and we're nearly in the 9th inning. As CP this time takes high, 2-0. First pitch was at 10:59. We sit at 12:54 right now with a 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. 2-0. Frankie goes, and the throw down to second is not in time. So Frankie with another stolen base. And he's in scoring position. It was a strike to Pyle. Hitters count here to number 49. Hayes takes a look back. Now fires. That one's going to skip past the catcher Livingstone. Frankie's going to trot into third. Now he's 90 feet away from the 5th tornado run. Three balls and a strike here to CP Pyle. Baylor Wyatt on deck. He's 1 for 3. Now the 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4, and CP Pyle will take his base. Couple of walks here from Davis Hayes in the 8th. And here's Baylor Wyatt.
Pinch hitter.
And no, it's going to be a pinch hitter, actually. Number 14, Easton King, a freshman outfielder.
14.
So Easton King will take his cuts. Coming into that designated hitter spot for the NATOs.
Now batting for your Tornadoes, number 14.
King, a freshman, batting from the left side. King has played in one game, has one at bat, and has one hit as he takes ball one to start the AB. It was a double in the one at bat that he had.
Time.
And now time called. Looks like we might get a pitching change here after Hayes walks a couple.
24. We don't have a 24.
And it'll be a new pitcher coming in for the Yeoman. It's number 24, but there is not a number 24 listed on the Oberlin roster. We'll figure that out as he comes in to throw his warm-up tosses, and then we'll get right back to you here in just a moment. So back here, the new pitcher for Oberlin is number 24, Zachary Ritz, a junior out of Pacific Palisades, California. He is listed as 42 on the original roster we were given. Then on the scorecard, we're able to identify him as number 24. And he comes in mid-at-bat to Easton King. A CP Pyle going to delayed steal second. Nobody covered the bag. And that's going to be about as easy as it gets for Pyle. Now Easton King, the freshman at the plate, has a 1-1 count and has two men in scoring position with one down. King, his only college at-bat so far was February 18th, a week ago today at LaGrange. He went 1-for-1 with a double, pinch hitting late in that one. The 1-1. It's big wave and a miss there from the lefty. King, a freshman out of Hickory. Batting from the left side, Vasquez on third, Pyle on second, but he's behind 1-2. Ritz, the new pitcher, misses outside, 2-2. Oberlin dugout liked the pitch, but it was just a bit wide. Two-two. Popped in the air, right side of Gagne, underneath it, right on the foul line, and he makes the catch. Obviously, no tag up here from Frankie, but he does jog a little bit outside of the bag just to make him pay attention to him. So a pop out there to first base. And so it'll be up to Logan Sawyer. Sawyer 2 for 3, and as a matter of fact, 4 for his last 6 in these past 2 games. He's possibly had the best results of any Tornado throughout the course of this series. And he has a chance to drive in some more runs with 2 away. He takes ball 1 outside to start things off. NATO's leading at 4-1. A base hit makes it 6-1. Ritz trying to send us to the 9th. The 1-0. Nice breaking ball there, finds the zone. Ball and a strike here to the NATO second baseman. The pitch. Sawyer takes strike 2 on the outside corner. And now he's behind. Sawyer, a couple of singles, both in his last 2 at-bats. Has put the bat on the ball every time. Chokes up a little bit now here in a 1-2 count. And he fouls one off to stay alive. Ball and 2 strikes. 2 away. Ritz delivers, and poking out of that one and popping it up is Sawyer. Strabley makes the grab right on the lip of the dirt, and the Tornadoes are unable to capitalize with 2 men in scoring position. They still hold a 4-1 lead as we head to the final inning. 3-run lead for the NATOs. We head to the 9th, trying to close it out here at Gilcone Field. Ninth inning time here at Gilcone Field. NATO's holding a 3-run lead and trying to secure the victory and the series win in a rubber match here against the Oberlin College Yeomen. Andy Farringer back out. He's recorded 1 2/3 of good work so far as he pipes in a strike there to David Curtin. Curtin 1 for 3. He was up to the plate last inning until Aganye got picked off at first, so had to wait his turn for the 9th, and now strike 2 drops in. 2 quick pitches in the zone for Andy Farringer to get ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Farringer comes home. Tap and a foul to stay alive there. Curtin here, and then after him it'll be Livingstone and Schuschel. If it gets any further, Strabley at the 9 spot. Oh 2. Farringer can still play with a pitch or 2 if he wants. But he goes right at him, and it's fouled back again. The 0-2. That one misses low. Farringer still ahead, 1-2. Andy trying to slam the door shut here on a 4-1 ball game. That one sent sky high. Frankie waves everybody off. And right behind the third base bag, he makes the grab for out number 1 here in the 9th. And here's Livingstone. Oberlin down to their final 2 outs.
Catcher number 43, Sean Livingstone.
Oberlin scored once, and that was in the 7th. 7 hits, but only 1 run to show for it. So far, they've left 7 on base. 8 rather.
8 on deck.
On deck, in place of Schuschel, is number 8, Nick Mezzanotte. Is that one off the hands and caught by Logan Sawyer. Livingstone retired, and now down to their final out is Oberlin. So it will be pinch hitter for Schuschel.
Nick Mezzanotte.
We Nick Mezzanotte. The final hope. First time we've seen him all weekend, and it comes at a tough spot with 2 away in the top of the 9th. Mezzanotte, a sophomore catcher out of Montverde, Florida, IMG Academy. Bit of a change of scenery as strike 1 falls in the outside corner. Definitely a change of weather. Behringer comes set. And that one laced right at the shortstop Morton, who takes it on a bounce. The throw on to first is in time. A 1-2-3 ninth for Andy Behringer, and the Tornadoes get the victory in the ball game and in the series. They take the rubber match 4-1. Brilliant pitching today from the Tornadoes all around, with Blake Altschuler and Andy Behringer, the only 2 arms necessary to get this one done today. The Nados do enough on offense to win it 4-1, and we will be back here in just a moment for final stats, thoughts, and recaps. Tornadoes and Yeoman, you see the 2 teams convening and kind of shaking hands here. At least Mike Victory coming to shake hands, and we'll step aside for just a moment here. Nados with a 4-1 victory, back here momentarily. Back here from Gilcone Field, Tornadoes getting the victory here, 4-1 for the Nados. 4 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors. They left 7 on base. For Oberlin, 1 run on 7 hits, 2 errors for them as well. They left 7 on base, so between the two teams, both leaving 7 aboard in this one. Obviously, it hurt Oberlin more than it hurt the Tornadoes. Blake Altschuler gets the victory. He is now 2-1 in his career, and he also had a 5 strikeout performance, so 13 strikeouts in the first 3 starts for Altschuler. And the Tornadoes are able to win this series despite leaving 26 men on base between the 3 games. The losing pitcher was Liam Rose. He went 6 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned, with 5 strikeouts and a walk on 80 pitches. And Andy Farringer got the extended save, 2 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout after Blake Altschuler went 6 1/3 of 6 hit, 1 run ball with 2 walks and 5 Ks in 97 pitches. Taking a look at the batters, nobody really doing a whole lot for Oberlin. Their leadoff man, Brady Groves, was 2 for 4, and that was really the only man that did much. 0 for 2 for Masnikoff, 0 for 4 for Hurwitz, and 1 for 4 for Bax, and that's a combined 1 for 10 between the 2 through 4 hitters in the lineup. Jay Aganye, 2 for 4. David Curtin and Sean Livingstone both 1 for 4, and 0 for 4 performance, or 0 for 3 rather, for JT Schuschel. Joe Strabley, 0 for 2. You look at the NATO lineup, 1 for 4 for Granada, 0 for 4 for Morton, who ended up 1 for 11 on the series. Logan Clark, 0 for 3, and 0 for 9 series for him. Cale Ayler, 1 for 4. That's a 2 for 10 series for Ayler. Frankie Vasquez, though, 3 for 3. Reached base all 4 times, 3 singles and a walk. Kenny Pridmore, another multi-hit game for him, 2 for 4. CP Pyle went 1 for 3. Baylor Wyatt went 1 for 3. And Logan Sawyer, 2 for 4. That's going to close the book on this one. Natos winning the series, taking the final 2 in a 3-game set from Oberlin after falling 6-2 in Game 1. Blake Altschuler and Andy Farringer delivering a masterful performance from the mound, and the Natos, as a result, are able to take 2 out of 3. They sit at 5-4 through their first 9 games, creeping a little bit closer to conference play. 3rd weekend of baseball here for the Tornadoes, and it ends on a high note. A 4-1 victory over Oberlin College. The Yeomans now will head back to Ohio after playing their first series of the year. And the Natos got to be feeling good about these last couple of games here at home, defending Gilcone Field, where the Natos are now 5-1 on the year. Obviously, swept on the road last weekend at LaGrange, but otherwise, Natos have been pretty great here at home so far, 5-1. Obviously, it seems like every team in Brevard kind of just loves playing at home. I mean, every team in general loves playing at home, but you know what I mean. Next weekend, the Tornadoes travel up to Greensboro, North Carolina for a 3-game series against Guilford, including a doubleheader on Saturday at 12-3. And then the following weekend, Tornadoes are back at home for the Hometown Heroes series against Berea. There will be a doubleheader that weekend at 12-3 as well on Saturday, and then a 1 o'clock first pitch on March 10th. I will not be on the air for that series, but the Natos, some interesting games coming up. Conference play starts off with Southern Virginia on March 15th through the 16th, and that includes Little League Day on Saturday here at Gilcone Field. That's going to just about wrap it up for today. Natos taking 2 out of 3 on the weekend from the Oberlin College Yeomans, and a masterful performance on the mound from Farringer and Altschuler gets it done here on a Sunday afternoon from Gilcone Field. It's almost 1:30 here in Brevard, and we're already wrapped up. That's unfamiliar on a Sunday game, but a quick tempo game with really good pitching on both sides sees the Natos come out on top. Until next time, I am Brady Penn saying, let's go Natos.